Welcome everyone. It is Tuesday night, and I am so glad that you chose to be with us here this evening. Normally, it's Peter and myself or a combo of other people, but tonight's just going to be me. Peter's actually on vacation. As you guys are joining us in the chat, please, please, please put exactly where you are. I want to hear exactly where everyone is tonight. Um, we got a big night tonight. We're going to be kind of going over what steps you should be taking to get your business off the ground for 2021. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from like someone just starting out from the very, very beginning. And what are the things I would be looking for? All right. So we've got Brad from Marietta, Georgia, Erica from Cumming, Georgia, Nancy from Maryland, Benny from Tampa, Christine from Beaufort, Danny from Houston, Texas, Amos from College Parks, Maryland, Alabama, Francisco from South Florida. What's up, Francisco? Vitali from Portland, Oregon, Eugene from Chicago, John Walker from Rochester, New York, Valentina from New York City, Nick from North California. So glad to have you guys with us this evening. Hope everybody's doing awesome. Well, this is our regular Tuesday night call. This is something that we've always done actually for a couple of years now. One of the really consistent things that we've always done. So super glad that you chose to be with us tonight and took some time to be, took time to be here. We've got Russell from Buffalo. I'm assuming Buffalo, New York, Russell. So glad you are here. So how's everybody doing? Everybody feeling okay? Everybody feeling awesome? Are you stuck at being at home? As we know, we've got Christmas coming up here next week. So we've got a lot of stuff, I know everybody's got so much to get done. Melissa, I'm sorry you're not feeling very well this evening. I know the virus can be tricky. It, keeps everybody at home. Not feeling well. Also, you're kind of stuck. So that kind of is a little bit hard on everybody, but we've got some super positive things to talk about tonight. So super glad you're here. Oh goodness, Nancy said there's 12 to 8 inches of snow on its way. Oh my goodness, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would do with 12 to 18 inches of snow. By the way, I'm here in North Georgia in a town called Dawsonville tonight. And we get snow once or twice a year, but maybe like an inch or two. And in Georgia, when it snows, the entire place shuts down. There's no in between here. But you're right. It is cool with the new technology we have, Dill Driven. Someone mentioned it on the call that no matter what the weather is outside, you could do a lot of this stuff virtually, which is super cool. Because back in the day, you weren't able to do that, pull lists virtually, do driving for dollars virtually. So it's really good to see that we're able to do that no matter what. Oh, Shane, you have a lot of work in Dawsonville. That's cool. Yeah, I'm not too far behind the outlet malls. So I live in a town called Dahlonega, which is the next town above me. But I'm here tonight at our office. I've been at the office all day and thought I would just stay here for the webinar this evening. Well, let's go ahead and get started. For those of you that are joining us tonight, you're probably, either one of two types of people. Number one, you're a partner of ours, and we're so glad that you're here. It's another way for you to connect with us, to be a part of what we're doing, connect and be in the environment. And we're so glad you're here. There's other of you that out there that are not yet partners, and you're probably just checking us out, like checking us out. Are we real people? And absolutely, Absolutely, we are. And I would like to, tell you this evening a little bit about what we do before I kind of get into what I like to call the meat and potatoes of the webinar tonight. Um, well, here at Partner Driven, what we do is we partner with people, entrepreneurs across America, just like you, that are looking to, get into real estate investing or already are in real estate investing and really just, want to take it to the next level. So here's some of the things that we do. Number one is here at Partner Driven, we like to look at our organization like a family where we're all here to help each other, because it's not just about Peter, myself, people within our company. It's about the awesome other partners that are a part of this organization. We believe here at Partner Driven that whenever you share with others your success, you get an abundance factor whenever you really care and you share and you learn through growing and growing that way. So that's one really big part of what we do. Also, we do live daily training calls where you can literally each and every day, Monday through Friday, be with us as we share different topics about what we should be doing in this business. From how to work deal driven to how to, find motivated sellers, to build your buyers list, to negotiations, to building, badass marketing list, and how to talk to sellers. I mean, the list goes on and on. And we help you get deals under contract. And guess what? Once we do get deals under contract together, if you need our funding, we will fund the deal for you and split profits with you 50-50. Oh, not to mention, you have the ability to schedule calls with us one-on-one as many times as you want to. I know, like when I was getting started, one of the biggest things is that I wanted somebody that I could literally talk to. Even like if you ever like feel like sometimes the answer, but it would be so nice if you could run it by somebody. Well, that's the environment that we put together because we want you to go out there and do more deals. In a little over 7.5 years, I've been able to complete over 1,600 deals. And I want to share with you guys the success that I've had. And it's not really the success that we've had, or that I've had personally, but the path that I've taken to get there. And what are some of the things that you do to find some of these deals? That's my entire absolute goal. And if you guys would like to know more about being one of our partners, and we definitely want you to be, we are looking to really blow it out in 2021 with our partners. And there is literally no stopping us. We have huge goals, and we will get there. And we're hoping that you're going to be one to get there with us. So if you're interested in learning more, actually one of our staff members is literally on standby right now to take your call. Her name is Miss Jamie, and she would love to talk to you. Her phone number is 678-459-8743. 678-459-8743. Okay. So if you're looking to learn more about Partner Driven, just give Jamie a call and just ask any question that you may have. But if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Is that okay? All right. Perfect. Okay. So everybody knows how to chat on Zoom, right? When I do these, I really love a lot of feedback. I love for you to participate. It helps me, and it's going to kind of lead the conversation this evening, okay? Because I'm going to take a few of you that are brand new to this business. I mean, brand new, have never done a deal, and the goal is to get you set up for 2021. That's what I'm looking to do with you guys this evening. And by working on one of their stories, we're going to learn together. Okay. So in the chat, who in here is kind of brand new to this business, who is fairly new to this business, maybe you've never done a deal, don't know where to get started, I want to start from the very, very beginning. And thank you for being honest, because that's exactly what we're looking for tonight. Okay, so Melissa, we got quite a few of you guys here on tonight. So tonight's going to be great for you. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So let's start from the very beginning. So all of us live in different towns across America, right? So first you want to, before you start divulging on your goal, right? Let's say that you mentally are prepared to go this way. We're going to, get the mindset part out of it, because that really is the first thing. You've got to know that you can do this, number one. Okay. And I'm assuming because you're here that you feel that way, right? So let's talk about action steps to doing your first deal and really hitting it hard in 2021. And whether you're new or not, still answer questions in the chat as we go along here. Okay. So I believe in this business, it is important that you learn how to do deals direct to seller. And really kind of, what do I mean by that? When I'm doing deals, I'm looking for individuals or sellers that actually own the property. I'm not looking for properties that are for sale on the MLS or properties that are for sale by another wholesaler, okay? One thing that I love about real estate investing is not only do you make good money, yes, you do, but you have the opportunity to help people out. That's one thing that I love about this. I mean, it blesses my soul when you're able to, when it's a win-win for everyone. So I want everybody to think about, and it's always important, I feel, even though you can do virtual wholesaling, I feel that it's best to kind of start in your neck of the woods, because in the beginning, it's going to be a lot easier to get a deal done when you can actually go visit the property, okay? So let's talk about the type of sellers that you're going to be looking for, okay? So who as a seller may be motivated to sell their home? And let's go ahead and put this in the chat, guys. I know there's a lot of you that's been doing this a while. So let's help out this evening. Name some motivating factors that might lead you to believe that a seller might want to sell their house or one of their properties. John Walker said maybe they got into a divorce and they need to sell their property. Yeah, great one, John. Benny said, yeah, they're a tired landlord. I've gotten a lot of my properties from landlords that have been doing it for years and they don't want to do it anymore. So a tired landlord's good. I'm going to give you one. I hate this, but unfortunately someone passes away and leaves them the house, and they need to sell the property. Eugene says loss of jobs. Bryant said hardships, bankruptcy, pre-foreclosure. They're moving out of state. Maybe the property's sitting vacant. They live out of state. Guys, thank you so much. Those are some awesome answers. Okay. So there's, no matter where you are, there's people that are in this situation. Okay. Now that we kind of understand what types of folks might need to sell their property, let's talk about an area. Okay. In most all towns, you're going to have an area of town where properties are not somewhere that you would want to visit in the evening, right? Does everybody know what I'm talking about there? Maybe it's a less desirable area. Some people call them war zones, okay? Then you've got, your middle class, your blue collar working class area. Then you've got your upper echelon areas, okay? Of maybe, super high worth individuals. I suggest that you focus in areas of abundance. I focus in one of these three particular areas for one specific reason. I'm usually going to take one of these properties and rent it out to somebody, or I'm going to fix and flip it or wholesale it. But ultimately, I'm going to be selling these properties. Who do you think in America buys more properties of what I was just talking about? Who do you think buys more properties? Do you think it's super uber rich people, middle class? Middle class, you're so right, Eugene. Okay. So I want to work in an area of abundance. I love working in blue collar working class areas. Also, I like the price ranges of the homes, the rehabs, the whole 9 yards. And so that's why I like to focus in those areas. And I really feel that you should right now, for those of you that are new, type in the chat, do you know where those areas are in your area? And by the way, I generally travel about 1 hour around where I live. Do you know where those blue collar areas are around where you live? Think about it. Yeah, and if you don't, let me know. Okay, good, good. So, so someone said, no. So one way to kind of figure that out is think of it this way. Let's say you're a mechanic, right? You've got a good job. Your wife maybe has a good job too, as maybe she works at, I don't know, the school. Okay. I would consider this like a blue collar working class area. Where could you afford to live? Think about that in the areas where and around like middle class. Yes, maybe I didn't explain that correctly, but yes, middle class areas. That's really where you want to focus on, because that's going to be where the abundance of opportunities are, is in those blue collar working class areas. So right now, I want you to think, okay, I know exactly where that is. I know what the zip codes are, and you should be writing what these zip codes are down, or you should know, because we're going to go over how to find some of these leads further on. You've got to know exactly where to start first. Now, does anybody have any questions before we move forward? Okay, great. So now that we know where to work, and we're talking about focusing on finding people that may be in a distressed situation, there's lots of different ways. There's lots of different ways to find motivated sellers. I'm going to go over just a few tonight to kind of give you an overview, right? But when you're going into 2021, this business is really about marketing, okay? It's about reaching these sellers, setting appointments, and making offers, okay? So you really need to diagram your business out to know from beginning to end what your goals are. Did you guys know that with a wholesale deal, and we're just going to mostly talk about wholesaling tonight, that you average between $7,500 and $15,000 on one wholesale deal? So I like for you to think of yourself, okay, if I was to go into this business full time, right? How much money do I need per month to feel comfortable to leave my full-time job? I want you to think about that for a second. For some of you, it may be 5,000 or 6,000. For some of you, it may be 15,000. Like someone just said, $10,000. Guys, that's 1 to 2 deals a month. That can be done. It can absolutely be done if you put your mind to it. And by the way, you can very much accomplish that full time. I mean, doing this part time, right? So that you can transition into that. Brian said he needs at least 45,000. Well, if you're needing 45,000 or, something like that, then you probably need to focus on doing 4 to 5 deals a month. If that's the income you need to make a month to do this full time. So yeah, just doing that 1 deal a month can get you doing this full time. Okay. So as we're looking at our blue collar areas, one thing that I did when I got started was driving for dollars. I literally drove around these areas and I looked, and what I looked for is I looked for properties that were in a distressed situation. Now, I was not looking for anything that was already for sale. I know that sounds strange. I'm not looking for something that's already for sale. I'm looking for things about the property that leads me to believe that the home is in a distressed situation. Okay. So the reason I don't want them for sale is because other people know about that. What I do is I'm going to look up the property address, find their cell phone number, and I'm going to give them a call, and I'm going to make them an offer for their property. Okay, Melissa? So that's why I'm not looking for anything that's for sale per se. I'm looking for things that leads me to believe they're in a distressed situation. I'm going to give you a hint. You know how like you're driving through a neighborhood and you or even a street, and all of the houses are taken care of, and then you'll have this one house and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I bet everybody wants them to move, right? That's kind of exactly what you're looking for. So some of these signs, like Mr. Kinship said, is high grass and overgrown landscape. What are some other things you might see physically about a property that leads you to believe they're in a distressed situation? Old paint. Maybe there's a tarp on the roof. There's trash strewed everywhere. There's sheets in the windows instead of blinds. These are some of the things that you should be looking for. Melissa, you said plenty of those in your hometown. Nancy said unshoveled snow. Old vehicles in the yard, right? So the reason I'm going through this right now is because I want you to think right now about building a marketing database, okay? You want to work several of these leads. I mean, hundreds, thousands of these leads at one point, but you want to start building your list to get, you want to start building that list on top of each other, right? So that you can start marketing to them. So I would love to show you guys other ways to build these marketing lists too, or to do, you know, some driving for dollars. What I would love is there someone on this call that is new that said that earlier that could give me their city and state? And I'm going to kind of show you some of the things that I would build my marketing list from. Some of the ways that I would start, you know, doing if I was to literally pick up and move there. That's kind of what I want to show you, the things I would look at first. Okay, so we're going to go with Mitchell because he was the first one. So Marshall, Michigan. Okay. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay with everybody. So what you're seeing right now is you're seeing a screen here in our app called Deal Driven. By the way, if you're a partner of ours, we provide this app to you at no additional charge, plus 1,000 skip traces a month. Okay, so you really definitely want to be, you know, utilizing that, guys. If you're a partner, make sure you're using all 1,000 of these. So I'm going to go here to property search because I want to take a look at Marshall, Michigan a little bit here and show you how I can kind of tell where the investor friendly areas are in Marshall, Michigan. Okay. So generally, whenever you go to or you type in a town up here in the top search bar, it's going to literally take you to the city center, like where the courthouse is and everything. So I'm going to pull out a little bit and I am going to do some moving around here. Does everybody see all of these little buttons or all of these little dots here? All of these dots represent different things. The ones right now that I'm going to be concerned about is going to be a non-owner occupied, which is the light blue button. What non-owner occupied means is that means someone owns a property that they do not live in, okay? And really, the most motivated sellers are people that own properties that they do not live in, Or what that tells me is that that's an area where there are a lot of rental houses. Okay. So if you're wholesaling and there's already a neighborhood where there's a lot of investors that's bought in there, don't you think other investors might want to buy in there too? Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to look around. I've never seen Marshall, Michigan before. So kind of wanting to get away from downtown a little bit. And I want to look at an area. The other thing I might look for is I might look for the green dots. That means that that property was bought in cash. So I'm looking for a combination of green dots, blue dots, maybe even purple dots that they're vacant. And even though this is really close to town, if y'all have noticed, do you see how this, ooh, this is a good area. This area right here has a combo of a lot of different things here. So what I would like to do is actually just kind of go here and take a look. So I'm going to go straight to this house on the corner, and I want to go here virtually. Okay. Now, does anybody, we were talking about driving for dollars earlier. By the way, not just doing this in person, you can do this via this app right here and literally drive down the road. Do you see how beautiful this house is right here? How well kept, how, how the owner has definitely taken care of it. It's been rehabbed. Do you notice this house? What stands out to you about this particular property? Now, mind you, I'm sitting here in Georgia and I'm finding leads in Marshall, Michigan, where I've never been to before. And I can start working here today if I wanted to. What are you guys seeing about this house? No curb appeal because there's lots of shrubs. You're right. It's got overgrown landscape. If you look here, the roof is not in the greatest condition. We've got some paint issues. It's sitting literally right next door to a beautiful home. So as I'm doing virtual driving for dollars, I would add a list here. I'm going to create my new list and call it, give me just a second, virtual driving for dollars. Let's call it Marshall, Michigan. Save. So now I'm going to keep driving here because I'm going to be looking for some more leads, because you could tell that I saw all of those dots where I know that they're, non-owner occupied properties, cash buyers in that area. I feel like this is a good area for me to stay in and keep looking for properties. All right. So I'm just going to kind of go up the street, turn around a little bit. Now I'm going to add this to the list as well. I can tell here that they've got this, they've got a air conditioning unit upstairs. We've got some little problems with the roof here and the flashing, a little overgrown stuff here on the right-hand side. Not as in bad a shape as the other one, but I would add this one to my list as well. Okay. So you want to add this particular property. And the cool thing is once you, going a little fast here. Once you click or are sitting in front of this property, okay, you can find all of the details about this property. And someone asked earlier, how updated are these pictures? These pictures are updated as much as Google is updated. If you go down here to the bottom right, a lot of times it'll tell you what year this particular photo was taken. Hope that helps you there. So you're literally just going to keep driving down the street looking for these properties. Now this one, I wouldn't add this one to my list. Yeah, it looks like they maybe missed cutting the grass, but this house is in great shape. So hopefully you guys are, whoa, here we go. You see this jewel right here. Now I want to pull the details of this property, okay? I can tell this property is owned by Todd and Todd Patton, who lives on Ventura Way, not Michigan Way. Okay. He does not owe any loans on this property as of right now. Right? You can see what else Mr. Todd owns. Let's see if he owns. He also owns these two other properties. I mean, you could kind of seriously go down a rabbit hole looking in here, but that's exactly how you're going to be doing virtual driving for dollars. Now, would you like me to show you how to get in touch with Todd Patton? This is my favorite thing. So once I'm into here, I can go to the owners tab and literally instantly, let's see if we can do it. Oh, wow. Okay. So what I did is I instantly skip traced this owner here. So if you come here to phone numbers, here are the phone numbers associated with this gentleman. Here are the email addresses associated with this gentleman. Okay. Guys, do you see how powerful that is? I literally am sitting here in Georgia looking at properties in Michigan. I saw one that's in a distressed situation, and with one click of a button, I'm able to find their phone numbers and email addresses so that I can reach out to them. Okay? That what I showed you is virtual driving for dollars. Now, because I know a lot of us are inside because of COVID, I've always loved getting out and driving around and physically looking for them. That's my favorite thing. But I think it's because I like the hunt and the chase and the being out driving around. So even though I do it virtually, I still like going out and doing it in person. Now, I want to show you another way, and this is all things I would be doing to get started building my list in Marshall, Michigan, so that I am completely ready for 2021. I'm getting all my addresses. I'm getting all my phone numbers, right? I'm getting my marketing list together. Now I'm going to show you how to take that to the absolute next level, okay? And really find a lot of motivated sellers in Marshall, Michigan all at one time. So I want to go here to my home screen and go to lead building search, okay? I'm going to search all of the properties here in Marshall, and I want to start building a list that I can start marketing to. Marshall, Michigan. So here what it's going to do is it's going to take me a 20-mile search radius around the city center of Marshall, Michigan. Now you could do a polygon search. I don't know this area, so it'd be kind of silly for me to do that. But if you did need to kind of draw on a map where you want it to be, you could do that as well. So let's think about who are the most motivated sellers in Marshall, Michigan. Help me out. Put it in the chat. What would you choose here? I've kind of told you a couple times today who I think are some of the most motivated sellers. Here we go. Out of state. Let's go ahead and click that. Great. So we're going to pick all of the out of state owners in Marshall, Michigan. What I want to do is I want to stack these motivating factors on top of each other. Do you think an owner that owns a property and lives out of state and has a vacant property too? Do you think they would be interested, that they might be interested in selling? Absolutely. Maybe they're non-owner occupied, right? So if you'll notice, we just stacked all of that on top of each other, Archie, just like you said. We want all of the likely vacant, non-owner occupied properties that are vacant in here. Now, one other thing, and John Walker knows this, you could put mail delivery change. This seriously makes this a super, super motivated hot list, okay? What mail delivery change means is within the last 90 days, somebody has changed the mailing address. So what that tells me is that it's a default tenant situation, or the tenant has moved out, the owner's sitting out of state, and they got a property sitting in Michigan vacant. And my goodness, you guys know how cold it gets in Michigan. Does somebody want to leave a house sitting vacant in Michigan? No. Why in the world would you want to do that, right? So now I want to go choose some more filters, because there's one thing that really matters to me. Whenever you're looking for a property, I personally want property that has equity. That's where your profit's going to come from. So I want all of these things, plus I want there to be at least 35% equity in all of these properties. Now, if you'll look, we are down to 29 properties. This is not really a huge list here, but this is a highly motivated list. I suggest all of you definitely pull this list in your area. For this particular place, there's 29. For some of you, there may be only 2 or 3. It just depends. Now, if I were to go back and take the mail delivery change out of here, that is still a great list, okay? The other list, now before I move on, does anybody have any questions about that? So that's one particular list I would pull. I'd want to know that. The other thing I want to know is, let's see, and by the way, someone said tax delinquencies. It depends on what state you're in. Some states do not allow that to be records that can be pulled. However, I want to check pre-foreclosures. Do you think somebody that's in a pre-foreclosure state might be needing to sell their property? Let's talk about this for a minute. These individuals, because I've already got this in here, they have at least 35% equity. These individuals have been served a notice that their home is going to be going into foreclosure, okay? And they have equity in the property. That means that they have enough equity that somebody could come buy it from them, and they would not lose it back to the bank. They would not have it on their credit report for 7 years. So when you're looking in your town here of Marshall, Michigan, I'm going to be pulling a list and putting my pre-foreclosures in a list. I'm going to be putting my hot leads in a list. I'm going to be putting my driving for dollars leads inside of a list. Okay. So first we talked about the area that we want to go to, right? So we know what area we want to be in. We know we need to pull lists. We need to do marketing to find our motivated sellers, which tonight I've only showed you 2. Okay. And that's something that I discuss lots, in our partner program, all the many different ways to find more deals. But let's say you pulled all of these lists, right? You've got all of these lists, you have it all sitting here. Well, what good is that if we don't do anything? So guys, tell me, what do we do next with this information? Put it in the chat now. What do you think we do next? Once we've got our list pulled, once we have the motivated sellers in our area. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to skip trace them and start calling them, right? Start marketing, trying to set the appointment up. You guys are awesome. Make your phone call, maybe send them a letter, maybe send them a piece of direct mail, put a note on the door. So those are some of the many ways that you can reach out to a seller. Would you guys like me to kind of go over what I say when I'm calling a seller out of the blue? Okay. So if I were to call this one particular driving for dollars lead, let's say virtual driving for dollars lead, that's in Marshall, Michigan, this is exactly what I would say. John, hey, it's Julie. How are you doing today? Oh, good, good. Well, actually, the reason for my call is the other day I was driving down Smith Street And I saw this property that I believe that you own at 1735. Yeah, on that property. How can I help you? Well, you see, I buy, fix, and sell houses, and I buy and rent them out. And when I saw yours, I mean, man, it's exactly what I've been looking for. And I was just wondering if there's any way that I could, come out there and make you an offer for your property and take a look at it. See, when you're making these calls, I never call myself a real estate investor because not everybody is in real estate. And whenever you do call yourself a real estate investor, it's going to make them feel right like you're going to give them a lowball offer, like they're going to be sold something. When you're on these calls, it's not about necessarily what you say. It's about being absolutely true to yourself and being yourself. Okay? Because that's the key. This is a people business, a business based off of trust. So you absolutely, no matter where you're from, you want to be you. I mean, just like you're hearing me now, I got someone joking about my accent already. I know it's terrible. I do have a Georgia accent, but I'm never going to get rid of that, nor do I want to. So when I'm calling sellers, I'm always going to sound like myself. I'm not going to say, hi, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Right? No. I was driving down the street and I saw this property I think you own at 123 Main Street. And I like it. Right? That's, and I buy, fix, and sell houses, and I buy and rent them out. I just want to come out there and take a look at it and make you an offer for it. You're going to get a lot less hangups, and you're going to really, it's people be like, oh, well, why did you like my house? Or I wasn't even thinking about selling. Okay. You're going to get a lot more opportunities there. The more times that you have to make an offer, the more opportunity that you're going to have, right? So absolutely, you would rather be natural and professional. Exactly. Be yourself, be professional, be natural. Don't try to be someone you're not, because everybody can tell that. That's a great thing, Mr. Kinship. So thank you for that. Well, let's say next, what do you want to do? Maybe you want to send a letter to this individual. If I'm doing driving for dollars, I may want to send a handwritten envelope with my letter. These are things that don't cost a serious amount of money, but time, and are very, very successful. I mean, think about it. You go get your mail in the mailbox and you have an envelope and the envelope's handwritten. Are you going to open it? Yeah, absolutely. You're going to open it. Because you're thinking, oh, someone sent me a letter, somebody invited me somewhere. So I'm definitely going to open that piece of mail. So I believe that I truly believe that if you get your letters printed out and you write those envelopes, you will definitely get calls back. Those are things that you can do without spending a ton of money. Okay. So now we're going down the list here. And guys, I'm just kind of giving you basic practical knowledge this evening, because a lot of us don't get started in this business because we think it's too hard. And it's really not once you break it down. You're just looking for people in your area that might need to sell their home. Okay. So you're reaching out to people that may be in this situation. Right. So let's build our list, let's find our area, and let's determine what our marketing strategy is going to be. Yes, there's other strategies such as like Facebook marketing, text message services, huge amounts of direct mail, all of these things, which I do myself. But when you're getting started, that may not be something that you're able to do, right? Now, another big thing that's important is I would really make sure that you have a valid contract so that you're able to put these houses under contract, so that you also that you understand what an ARV is, what an as is price is. An ARV is the after repair value, what the value of the home is once it's fully fixed up, right? What it sells for as is. Maybe a little bit about construction so you know what needs to be done to the property. Okay. So what I would like to do for the next 15 minutes, if it's okay with you guys, is I would like to bring some people on live tonight on the webinar. And literally, if you raise your hand, I can press a button and allow you to talk, so you won't be on camera. But if you have any questions, I want to be here to answer them for you guys. So if you want to raise your hand, if you look under the chat box, there's over there where you can raise your hand. I will see it on my end, and we'll see what you got. Okay, Mitchell Cross, I just push the button to allow you to talk. Just unmute yourself, dear. Mitchell, on live.
All right, sweet. So we got auction. There's some auction sites that I've found, and we looked up the equity, and it's there, but then they got the reserve on it. Well, we still can make a good deal on it, but auction sites off limits?
Auction sites aren't off limits, but I'll tell you right now, with the way that the market is, for me personally, it's a waste of time. Because the market is so hot right now, you barely ever win an auction. And when you do, you got to understand that there are literally people overseas too that do nothing but sit there and bid on these properties. And they might pay 90, 95 cents on the dollar, whereas you wouldn't pay that much. So for me, I kind of feel like it's a waste of my time until there's more available inventory out there.
Okay.
So, and in the years to come, Mitchell, once this, unfortunately, I'm afraid that the foreclosures are going to get worse next year. After that, there'll be more inventory on the market, and auctions will be a better opportunity again. But right now, I think you're going to spin your wheels.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, Benny.
Yes. Hi, Julie. It's such a pleasure to speak with you, and thank you guys for all you do.
Yes, thank you so much.
Sure. My question is, when we're getting ready to prepare to go on an appointment, let's say we reach a seller, we believe they're motivated, we're on the way to go there. I understand we get the Deal Driven app, we look at the comps and the valuation and all of that. And so let's say when we get there, I don't have construction background. So how would I be able, do we have like a rehab evaluator tool or something like that, or some things that we should look for? Besides, of course, the basic things. So when we get there, we kind of have an idea as to what we think the repairs might be, or do we try to get someone with boots on the ground that can go there as a contractor or something? Like, how do we overcome that?
You can definitely get a contractor to go with you. The problem is if you keep bringing them to appointments, they're not going to want to help anymore. So another thing is if you look on the internet, there's lots of rehab valuators. But I would like that you could pull off, and maybe I'll try to find one that's available. I'm actually trying to add one to Deal Driven so that you can put all the information and it'll do it for you. We're just not done with the coding yet.
I see. Okay.
But here's the main things, Benny. And I'm talking about like a regular sized house, okay? And this could be off by a couple thousand depending on where you live. Number one, first thing is the roof.
Yes.
You want to check that roof. Generally on a regular size house, you're looking at anywhere between 12, 14,000 for a new roof. The heating and air conditioning unit. I just paid, I think, $5,500 for a 2-ton unit. So around $5,500 for an air conditioning unit. Look at the electrical. When you open the electrical box, if there's like round circles, okay, they're like old fuses, you'll know that the entire electrical needs to be replaced.
Great. Yeah.
Yes. A kitchen redo's about, I don't know, between 10 and 12,000. A bathroom between 6,000 and 8,000. So when you're going out and giving these, when I'm going out to give a price on, to make an offer, I never say, oh, I know this rehab is going to be $43,750. I'm like, well, I believe the rehab is probably going to be about between 45 and 50. We make it, and you make an offer based off of that, because you can always renegotiate after an inspection. Okay. And in the beginning, Benny, I took a lot of trips to Home Depot.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, yes. But I mean,
Good stuff.
I'm trying to think of that. Well, Bigger Pockets has this, I believe, rehab generator that you could find, or look
Okay.
it up in some of these forums. But there are some good ones, and when you download those, I believe they're like spreadsheets, and they're specific to certain states.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for asking.
Sure.
All right, let's see more lower hand so I can keep up with this. All right, Melissa.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. I just started yesterday. Well, I was actually I had a question about how I found a house, but it's owned by a bank, but it's like they're selling it for like 100,000 less than the value price of the house, and I wanted to know should I pursue it or should I just move on to the next one?
Um, it depends how much work are you seeing it online or something?
Yes, I'm seeing it on your on the deal driven.
Is it listed on the MLS?
No.
Okay, so is it for sale with the bank?
Yes, it is for sale with the bank because I was driving by and I seen it, and then I looked at the name, and then it says it was owned by a USB or some. Forgot the actual name of it.
Okay, so they have it right now, but they haven't put it up for sale yet, then, is what you're saying.
Yes, pretty much.
Gotcha. I mean, you could try to contact that bank directly. I've found, unless it's a very local bank, it's going to be impossible to talk to the right person about it.
Okay.
So I would move on to the next one when it came to the bank. Now, but do you know how, like in towns where they'll have like Bank of Dawsonville, like where I'm at, where it's just like one bank in that town?
Yeah.
You can go to an asset manager at a local bank and see what inventory they have that they need to dispose of. But when it's a large bank like a Bank of America or, USD, one of these big banks, you're never going to get to the person you need without doing tons and tons. And by that time, you could have did 3 or 4 deals.
Okay. All right then.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, Royal Kinship. Unmute.
Hello, nice to meet you tonight.
Yes, nice to meet you as well.
Hi, yes, I have a couple of questions. Let's see. As far as the double closing is concerned, do you suggest those?
We perform double closing all the time. Are you trying to decide whether you need to do an assignment versus a double close?
Yes. I'm fairly new, and so it's just a question of should you do it or should you not?
Okay, got it. So when you're doing a wholesale deal, there's 2 different ways to close it, okay? Generally, your first initial contract gives you a right to assign the property to another buyer. So therefore, you're not really selling a house, you're selling a contract, okay? Licensed agents sells houses. Unlicensed individuals can sell this contract. So you can assign the contract from your company, to an end buyer, which is an assignment, and there's one closing. And in this closing, you're a line item on the settlement statement, okay, as a fee line item, and you get paid at closing, okay? Now, there's multiple reasons why you might need to double close. Let's say you have a significant profit margin on a deal and you don't want the back end buyer to know about it. You might double close, meaning you close on it, take title of it, then they go and take title of it. Okay. The issue with that is that you have to have the cash to close on it initially, unless you can talk the title company or the attorney into using their funds to fund your deal. Generally, they're not going to do that if it's your first time, but I'm not opposed to either one, and I do both. It really just depends on the situation. But I've done both, and just depending on what I need to do is what I'll do. But an assignment is better as far as an assignment's better if you can get away with doing it.
They won't try to back out of the deal, will they?
Do what?
There's not a chance that, they would try to back out, the seller would try to back out, or, if they happen to see what your portion is going to be.
The seller could back out, but you have a legal binding contract. Okay.
Okay.
So if the seller was to back out, you could place a lien on their property for non-performance of that contract.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But you could just do a double close if the price is really high. Now, I will tell you, like Amos said, there are lenders that fund double closing. Okay. So it wouldn't like you necessarily have to have the cash. I kind of just said that because I don't like paying the fees for that. But I wouldn't really be worried about that in a seller backing out, because you would think that, but like not most sellers, it's not like they've been to 30 closings before and they know how to read every line item on a closing statement. Not being untruthful to somebody,
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for being on tonight. All right. Any more questions? Just raise your hand, guys. I'll be here. Again, and thank you for being here tonight. Or if you would like me to look at your area, anything I can do. And no question is ever a silly question. I know, beginning when I talked, there was a lot of people that, had that said they were fairly new. And maybe, you think your question is silly. It's really, really not. We don't know unless we ask. Melissa, I'm going to unmute you because I think you raised your hand again.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
What's a wholesaling? Because I've been trying to look it up to see how it works, but like there's so many explanation that like I was like, oh, I still don't get it in a way.
Got it. All right.
Okay.
So what you're doing when you're wholesaling is we'll go from the beginning. Let's say, how we looked earlier, and let's say we found one of those deals. Okay. You were wherever you live, you went and met with a seller, and you guys agreed on a purchase price. Okay. Which generally, if you're wholesaling, needs to be at about 65 to 70% of the ARV minus repairs. So you've agreed on a purchase price. Okay. Now what you're doing is you're going to look for an end buyer. Okay. Your end buyer is going to be another investor. This other investor is either going to buy, fix, and sell the property, buy and hold, but either way, they've decided to buy this house from you. Okay. You've got it under contract for this amount of money. Let's say $55,000. Let's say that you've turned around and sold it to him or her for $65,000, and you assign your contract to them, the end buyer. Wholesaling is the act of you selling that contract from this person to this person through an assignment fee or a double close. Your profit margin is the difference between what you have it under contract for and what you sold it for.
Okay, I see. All right, I get it.
Yep. It's just buying and selling for a higher price, really. And by the way, wholesaling is literally, I love creative financing deals, buy and holds and all that. But to this day, wholesaling is my absolute favorite strategy. I love it. It's fast.
How long does it usually take
To do your first deal?
No, for like wholesaling.
From the time you get it under contract to close,
Yes.
I'd say between 17 and 40 days.
Okay.
Not very long. I mean, some investors can close in 5 days. The reason why it's taking a little bit longer right now, Melissa, is because you're going to have to go to like a title company or an attorney, and they're cleaning up these titles. And sometimes the counties are taking a little bit longer to get the titles back than they did maybe a year ago because of COVID and them not having as many employees inside their offices. So that's the only reason that it's taking a little bit longer.
All right. Thank you.
All right, let's see. Michael Speed.
Hi, Julie. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you taking me.
Yeah.
My question kind of falls in line with the previous young lady spoke about as far as wholesaling. I just want to kind of make sure I understand the differentiation between the two. There's wholesaling and then there's flip. And you guys basically work with us on either one of those, pretty much. How does it work if you work with us on wholesaling? Because there's something we could do that might be a little bit faster just to get some cash flow going for us. And I just kind of want to know what are our options on that area.
Yeah. And you know, if I'm you, when I'm first getting started, I'd want to pop a few wholesale deals anyway. That way you can put a little bit of money back into the bank. So you're able to put a little more money back into marketing, right?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, if you'll look on our Facebook page, I put a house under contract a week and a half ago and I'm wholesaling it.
Okay.
Because I want the money instead of fixing and flipping it. So what we need to do, Michael, is we've got to go out and get homes under contract. Okay. And then we'll help you look at that deal and see what the best option, because if it's good numbers for a flip, it's great numbers for a wholesale deal. Okay. So basically, let me put it this way. If it's a good deal for a flip, it's always a good deal for a wholesale. But that doesn't mean if it's a good wholesale deal, it's always a good flip. Does that make sense?
Yep. I follow what you're saying.
Yeah. So, and right now with the market the way it is, and there not being much inventory on the market, these investors are paying way more than I could ever imagine for deals. So on some of these wholesale deals we've been doing, we've been making what we would make on a flip anyway. So why take the risk and sit on a house for 4 months while we buy it, literally get through the construction, fix it up and sell it? And there's a lot of emotion involved there too, by the way. You know what I mean? Worried about it. No, I mean, I'm fixing up actually just a regular mobile home, and renting it out. And yeah, I got to go over there every 3 days and make sure everything's going right. I got to pick out this, pick out that. Now, some people love that, but I don't know, it could be annoying to me.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I just wanted to make sure, because I started today actually, and I'm getting ready to start my training and all that. But I just want to kind of, because I drive full time. I'm a truck driver and I'm always on the road. I'm on the road right now, but I'm safely. It's hands free. But I just want to make sure that I kind of get my thoughts as to the path that I want to take. And as far as getting those investors that want to purchase this property, do we have a pool of investors that you guys are affiliated with and know about, or we just need to kind of research and find that?
We do, but that's also the beauty. I want you to be building your buyers list, but I don't want you to completely worry about that in the beginning, because my goal is for you to completely make money. Okay. And I don't want you to have I want you to get started on finding the deals so we can help you get there quickly. What our contract allows us to do is for you, Michael, to get it under contract. Okay. For us to hire a local realtor to sell the property for us. Our contract's very unique in that fashion. Peter will fund this transaction because when you sell it with a realtor, you cannot assign it. So we've got to buy it, and then even if it's the next day, the next buyer will buy it from us.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, I got you.
So you get a deal. We ain't gonna have a problem selling it, Michael. Go get
Okay, that's awesome. That's really good to know. That's really good to
Yeah.
know. Thank you so much, Julie. That's really
Yes,
good to know.
yes, yes. I look forward to it. All right. Let's see here. Any more questions? All right, Thomas. I don't know where he went. All right, Thomas, you're on live?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can, dear.
When you look spiffy tonight. We go stepping out in the snow tonight.
Yes, yeah, you have to take me there, Tom.
How you doing, dear?
Good, good.
Is the new stuff coming pretty soon? I'm hoping.
Yeah, it is. I started it Monday.
Cool. Well, I got my VA. I got her on board now. I'm going to train her and bring her on board with me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, she's all excited. She just called me.
Oh, she did. Well, that's great. So did you pull the ad and get her? So she's working
No,
on.
I looked at the Rio, called their local Rio and asked for somebody down there because I had met her down there before. And I says, hey, can you have her call me? And I called her because she's a bus driver and her Ralph's being at school and they're cutting her hours some. She's got 2 kids and her death benefit for her husband runs out here in July. So I says, man, why don't you come on board with me and try this? If you like it, then I'll mentor you and bring you into my business. And she said,
Yeah.
okay. So I told her I'd give her 1,000 on the first one to help her out.
Heck yeah, that's great. That is such good news, Tom.
Well, you got to help everybody out. You got to pass it on.
Well, I say, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but if you don't help others, you're not going to be helped, by a bigger being in life either. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I'm still here on this earth to keep helping.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm so glad, Tom. Oh,
Yeah.
I got some good news. Remember I was telling you we were going to get pre-foreclosure updates daily
Yeah.
next week.
Cool.
So we're going to know next week. Ben is almost done with all of the coding for that, to where we will know when someone goes into pre-foreclosure the day of. We will have day of updated pre-foreclosure information.
Cool.
I am so beyond pumped. I'm creating an entire new training course just around that alone.
Right. Well, I'm trying looking for some new letters. I want to get that soft touch because that's, I've been through it. So I want to get some soft touch letters because I know how they feel,
Tom, when you write one, do you mind sending me some?
I will. I'll draft some. I will. I found another call sheet I'm going to put online for everybody to see if they like it better than the other one. It kind of walks them down through it, kind of helps them to ask questions and write stuff down.
That's good.
I'm gonna put it online for them. Also, I can't wait till you got Lou Brown because I got his stuff. I went through it.
How did you hear about this?
Peter said something about it, but I got his whole section.
Do you? That's so funny. Do you know what's funny? I used to wholesale all my properties to Lou.
What's funny is everybody you deal with, like Lee. We're in Lee Arnold. We're with him. We're with oh man, Kent Collier.
Mm-hmm.
With him. So I'm saying everybody's the same.
Yep. Because next year we want to bring that kind of training of creative financing subject twos to everybody. Because I get asked about me doing it so much, but I want his training because he's more of a master than I am at
Right.
that. You know
He does teach really well. Yeah.
Well,
I will say
he's been doing it 38 years. He ought to be good.
I will reach out to everybody that's on here that's new. Please get involved. We're like big family. And we all help each other. So if you got any questions, we're always on Facebook there, or you can ask us on this here to get our numbers, but everybody's willing to help you. So, there's no dumb questions and everybody's willing to help. So you're in the right place.
Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate it.
You got 2 people at the top that are great people, so you can't go wrong.
Yes, thank you. And congratulations on the new caller. She sounds like she's going to be awesome.
I will. I'll let you know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've got time for one more. Does anybody have the last question this evening? I kind of love it when there's Q and A's. People have questions. I'm better at answering questions. I hope everybody enjoyed this evening. For those of you that are new on here, I really encourage you to just take that one leap of faith. Okay. It's this business can seem so very overwhelming. Okay. And you always will think you're suffering from paralysis of analysis. But if you truly just break down the steps, these few little steps I showed you tonight, find your areas, find motivated sellers in your area. Believe it or not, that's the key to this business. And that's all you've got to do to have this business going for you in 2021. And on behalf of everybody at Partner Driven, for those of you that are partners, I'm so glad you're here. For those of you that aren't partners, I'm glad you're here. We hope to have you as part of the family. Otherwise, we wish you true success in this business. Hope you have a blessed evening, and goodbye.
God bless. See you later.
Bye.